and welcome to the Nerdgasm Podcast, the podcast where we talk about things that are nerdy and things that are naughty. I am the celery, known as Merlin Sensei. Of course, with me are the delicious raisins, known as Switch Rigs, and a kindly dollop of peanut butter, known as the Mupacabra. And that makes us ants on a log. You can
Oh,
go ahead and substitute the raisins for chocolate chips if you choose to, but I want to keep it healthy.
As long as I get to be creamy, I think I'm okay.
That's why I went with peanut butter for
I can
you.
live with that. I
Because
can
you're
live with
not
that.
old and shriveled. That's Switch.
He's like 2 months older than me. I love it.
speak those words again. Where you live?
Yeah, I know where I live too.
That conversation came up with 12 today because he mentioned something about the show Angel, and I said I
Okay.
didn't watch Angel. He said, "Really? It kind of seems like your thing." I said, "No, I didn't watch Buffy either." And he's like, "Really?" I said, "Well, it came out in '97, so I was
Yeah.
9." And he's like, "Are you saying that I'm old?" I said, "No, I'm saying that you're ancient. There's a difference."
You haven't watched Grimm either. That's right up your alley too. It's the idea of it.
Yeah, I feel like you would like Grimm. It's like Disney Supernatural almost.
Wasn't
Sorta.
that what once was? Or
Once upon a time.
yeah.
Mm,
This is more about the animals and
hunting.
things
Yeah. Ish. Yeah.
in
Gotcha.
fairy tales.
It's complicated. All right. So last week we went ahead and talked to you all and gave you some updates on life and stuff like that. Also, um our wonderful substitute of chocolate chips, 12-sided guy, is not here. Unfortunately, he's not feeling too well. So much love to him, of course. Hopefully he has someone nursing him back to health and helping to suck out all the bad juju and give him the strength he needs to continue on. Uh, Hopefully quite literally sucking out the bad juju.
Don't encourage him. Oh man.
um But we talked a lot of nerdy last week. This week, I think we're going to keep it plain and simple. Then we're going to jump into the gasm because Moo has some stuff she wants to talk about. And I did link something in the Nerdgasm Discord. And if we've got the time, I say we go through that, and the folks at home can go ahead and play along. If
Oh,
Switch wants to go ahead and bring up the website and or the paper for everyone to go ahead and look at when we do it. Sound
that
good?
sounds like fun.
Yes,
Oh man.
definitely.
Okay.
All right, cool. So, at time of recording, the video game awards are going on. God of War Ragnarok is wiping the floor with literally every other game to nobody's surprise because is it good? I'm sure it is. Does it need to win every single reward? I'm sure it shouldn't, but that's the way it is every single year when it comes to one specific game.
Is
If
that a
that says anything
AAA
about the
title?
industry. Yes.
Does that tend to be? I mean, I guess so. I don't watch the video game awards. Is that typically what happens? Whatever AAA title is big that year just sweeps the competition?
Usually, it's not always that way, but it's often that way, and it's usually something that, again, you look at it, it's like, oh, this game is good, and then it's like, really, it's winning everything?
Yeah.
It's good, but it's not that
But
good.
Multiplayer game of the year, God of War Ragnarok. Does that even have multiplayer in it? I don't know.
it feels like it a lot of the times. And I get a little annoyed with it because I play more indie games nowadays, or
Yeah,
yeah, the small
or
guy,
retro games. Yeah,
yeah, or a retro game or something more than anything else, and they're never ones for
yeah,
nominations.
yeah.
Um,
Speaking
Maybe,
of
but
speaking of indie games, I can't remember if this was one you've talked about. Have you played Celeste before?
Mm.
uh, yes, I think it's in my list of stuff.
Floof goes on and on about that game. She is super into it. She's like on the last chapter, and
That
she tried.
game is amazing. Both gameplay wise, it's very intuitive and it feels good when you do
Mhm,
things correctly. And if you die effectively,
mhm,
then it's your own fault. It's not the game being unfair or stupid or
mhm.
whatever. It's just like, okay, this is where I messed up. And also the story
Yeah,
goes with it is just
she explained a little bit of the story
Oh,
to me
yes.
on Halloween while we were walking around, and she went through like the whole, like she did the typical thing that like 13-year-old kids do when they're super excited, and told me the whole story. And it was actually enough, because sometimes I'm like, okay, yes, we're talking about another video game. That's great. And she went through the whole thing and it sounded super cool. Um,
Mhm.
and so I had to ask about that one, because it just seemed like something you guys, well, Switch would enjoy for the storyline. And then Merlin, she talked about how difficult it is as a platformer, and just how the amount of precision that is
Yes.
required, right, to go through this game. And that's what she's like, I've been stuck on this last chapter for literal weeks.
Well, the game is very good about building upon itself, and that last chapter, as sometimes it does with a lot of games, or at least have done in the past, it's like, hey, do you remember everything that you've learned since stage one?
Hmm.
It's like,
I
do
hope
this,
so.
combo this with this. This is how you do this. Make sure you
Mhm.
know this mechanic. It's like, oh, okay.
But it
But
was
yes,
that was the thing that I asked her. I said, "Is that one of the?" I said, "Are the characters 8-bit or 16-bit, whatever it is?" And she's like, "Yeah." So I think I'm gonna try to make them in the little ornaments.
oh,
Okay.
cute. Do
Yeah,
that.
Celeste is actually a very good game. I don't know all of the story, and I've watched some of it, and I do
It's a
like.
big old metaphor.
Oh yeah, a lot of indie
Yeah.
games are big metaphors
Yeah.
nowadays.
Ever
But
hear of Binding of Isaac?
She loves that
um,
Now
one too.
that's a
so
metaphor.
um, but yeah, Celeste has that very Super Meat Boy kind of feel to its platforming.
Yeah.
Um, I've definitely watched a lot and do. Um, but my
Which, yeah,
yes,
tell us about game stuff.
game stuff.
Game stuff.
Um, well, something that's coming from the Game Awards right now is that there's going to be another Star Wars Jedi game. It's called Jedi Survivor. It's from the same. It's the sequel to um. Oh, what's the
Is it the
name?
one with the redheaded kid that did really well?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I can't think of the Last Jedi. I think it is that. But
My
this
ex
is.
played it. Yeah.
Yeah, Jedi something.
Hmm. But the next one's coming out, and I actually like that one.
Okay.
That's coming out March, in fact,
Oh, that
soon.
seems
Fall
kind
in
of cool.
Order.
Thank you. Fallen
All in
Order.
order. Yeah.
Yep. Now
The
the
new
next
one
one's
is called
Survivor.
Survivor.
Correct.
Cool, cool, cool.
I can Google things.
Yeah.
No, my ex played that whole game. It actually looked super cool. And like the graphics were really good, like to the point that I'm looking at going, I know which actor that is. I know who that's modeled after. I
Well,
can
that
actually
actor's been
tell
in a
you.
lot of stuff video game wise recently, it seems like.
Oh yeah. He hit
Mhm.
that. He hit that. Great voice acting, and just like, let's throw you in everything.
Yeah, it's really amazing that we're at that point now where it's just like, well, we're gonna go ahead and put these little dots on your face, and you're gonna go ahead and say your lines, and we're gonna record them, and then what you say, we're gonna go ahead and map on this virtual character. It's like, oh, okay.
Hmm. Uh, Video game wise, there's not a ton coming out this coming week. A lot of just indie titles because I guess everyone is prepping for Christmas already. Um,
I mean, it feels like if your game hasn't been released by now, there's almost no point in releasing it
Yeah,
for Christmas because everybody's already shopped. You know what I mean?
I'm done.
So this
I'm
this
done
is
and
like
wrapped.
the December winter game drought, and we probably won't see anything until January, February, March.
yeah, that's definitely when it starts. I'm waiting for the next Zelda that's coming out in uh,
Ugh.
it's not March, it's
Yep.
May.
They they pushed
May.
it back. It was March. I think they pushed it back to May. They just keep pushing it back, honestly.
And I don't mind if they do. I want a polished game. I don't want a rushed game.
True.
Agreed. I just wish they'd stop giving us release dates. Like if
Hmm.
if they know that they're going to keep pushing it, don't give us a month. Just
Well,
say 2023.
well,
Well, the thing is
it's a
that
double-edged sword.
it really is. In the sense of they want the hype,
Mhm.
but the reason why they keep pushing it back is because um
You
they
got to
get
give
the
something to the investors.
investors want to push the game out. The toy companies want to push the game out. The
Mhm.
Everyone that's not making the game wants to push the game out. The developers are like, we're working on it. It's a little harder
Yeah.
than you think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and especially with
kind of
how
situation.
detailed the first Breath of the Wild was, and people went on and on and on, and that became kind of the standard, I think, for how we wanted games to be going forward. Like, I just still remember playing that first scene, even on, I think I played it on the Wii U, like just that first scene when you come up over the hill and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, and it was, I'd never seen
Well,
a game look like that before.
in my opinion, that is a great scene, but I think that even that scene borrowed a bit from something like Fallout 3 that had come out decades before. Because if you've never played Fallout 3, I highly suggest picking it up. It's a fantastic game. Get the Game of the Year version. It's like maybe $10 for almost any system nowadays. But at the very beginning of the game, you're in a vault and you play through, little bits and pieces as it acclimates you to this world and what everything's about. And
It's the
then
one where
you
your
have
dad makes
to
you shoot the rat, right?
it's a rat, yeah, it's a
It's an
yeah.
irradiated rat, whatever it
Yeah.
is.
I think it's a rad roach. But
Oh,
yes.
okay.
But then you have to leave the vault, and then the minute that you leave the vault and the whole of the wasteland is presented to you in that wonderful kind of sepia green, and it's amazing. And it was just a wonderful feeling playing that for the first time again years ago. And it does have that feel like just like whoa.
Hmm.
You like the Fallout, but I prefer the nice, colors of.
Fair enough.
I'm waiting for the game, and I know it's not coming. It's not coming. Where we play Zelda, not
Yeah.
Link.
What do you talk about? We
Yeah.
always play Zelda.
It's
Oh,
just
Zelda's the
been
one that's
legend.
always in the
It's been
green.
Zelda since
Yeah.
Nintendo. What are you talking about?
Well, no, don't forget CDI, Zelda's
yeah.
and the Wand of Gamelon.
He has such a cool hat. That Zelda hat is amazing.
I know, but there is one game where you do get to play Zelda, which is not that bad. It's a crossover for Crypt of the Necrodancer, that Cadence of
Oh
Hyrule.
yeah, Cadence of Hyrule. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually pretty still fun. I've played like probably a couple hours of it, but shit, I really.
Mm.
But let's see what we got going on. Oh, we have the Mario Kart drop of the new tracks.
Yes.
I got to look up exactly which ones, but I know moves
I
faster than I am.
I looked at it. I got the email about it earlier because we paid for the big expensive family membership, and I can't tell you the last time I got to touch my own Nintendo Switch. Like I just don't ever get to play it.
Same.
The kids always have it,
Oh,
so
that's
I
not a
just have given
euphemism.
up. I know there's like a maple something is on there. There's an
Hmm.
ice cream sundae level.
Hmm. They just introduced a Christmas level, Moo.
What?
Yeah, that came out with this pack. There's a Christmas level.
So we
I didn't know
got
about that.
the Rock Club and the Moon Cup. Rock Cup has Tour London Loop, Game Boy Advanced Boo Lake, 3DS Rock Mountain, and the Wii's Maple Tree Way.
See, I knew
Ooh.
about the maple one.
Cup has Tour Berlin Byways, DS Peach Gardens. I bet the Christmas one is the Merry Mountain, and the 3DS is Rainbow Road.
Ah, good old Rainbow Road. Now, another thing to go ahead and note about this DLC is, and this was brought to my attention by our good friend DX Kramer. He went ahead and let us know that apparently on special tournaments and stuff like that that you can set up, you can toggle certain items on and off.
Yes.
That's actually
So
nice.
he has invited us at some point in time to play BSBS mode, aka Blue Shell Bullshit, where literally
I
the
did
only
see
item
that.
on is the blue shell.
I have taken to, and I hope you won't be mad at me for this, Merlin. He's my second opinion for games. If I can't
Oh,
get a
that's very
hold,
nice.
if I can't get a hold of you, he
He's
has
very
been
knowledgeable. I will
he's
say
very
that.
knowledgeable, and he's been very good about, like, I've been like, hey, this game, and he'll be like, yes, and I'll be like, but for an 8-year-old, and he's like, well, let me
Yeah.
tell you why that's maybe not a great idea, but also what might be a good idea. And I was like, that was really helpful. Thank you very much. So,
That'd be
but
your
yeah,
tertiary helper for the game decisions?
You can be because you have little children's now that you have to deal with.
I don't know, Switch. You don't even like to play 7 Days to Die with me and Moo.
That's because it's every other game.
True.
It's
The
every other game.
it's basically say build a world and survive. The only one I personally like of that is Space Engineer. That's it.
Mm.
I just there's like 50 versions of that type of game out there.
It's a boiled down version of every survival game. I don't mind it.
True, but I like those. Valheim, Raft, 7 Days.
I haven't
They're
tried
fun.
Raft yet. 7 Days I like when we get to I like when everybody plays and we get to sort of play house a little bit.
Mm.
I think it's pretty clear that my strengths in those games are not like hand-to-hand combat. Like
It's organization and yelling at the rest of us.
And
pretty
my
much.
my issue with it with playing 7 Days to Die is because I feel like I'm not doing anything. Like
Oh.
you guys you're done like five steps ahead of me, and I'm like, oh, okay, I have a stick.
That's kind of part of why I took the route that I did. Like, I have long since learned I'm not going to match Merlin, Raven, or Panda as far as like actual skill in any game. It's just not going to happen. What I can do is assist, and I can be like, look, the food is made. Nobody's going to die because we have food. The bandages are
Yeah.
made. Nobody's going to bleed to death because we have bandages. And the house looks pretty.
The major thing is delegation of jobs and such like that. And it is, Moo is, the cooker and
I'm a
the
mom.
you know, creator of the household. The hunter gatherer is usually Raven. House defenses is usually Panda. I'm usually the guy that's going out there completing jobs and kind of like ramping up what we can and can't get a hold of. And that also sometimes falls into the creator
And
role.
12 is just kind of a big old himbo about that too, to be perfectly honest. He will do
Well,
whatever you tell him
I would say
and he will
12 is
do it
backup.
110%. He's
Is
just
he
like,
the hunter
"Oh,
gatherer backup? Yes. Is he the defensive backup? Yes. Is he the
yes.
quest backup? Yes. Is he the
That's
homemaker backup?
did
Yes.
you did,
Same
did one of us need 10,000 pieces of wood? That's 12 out there with an axe. Just
Yeah.
and the same thing is that same thing with Rust for a different group. It's the
Mm.
same game, and I just turn into, well, they're already doing that. What do they need me for? I'll just go be a survivor by myself and do it all myself. It
Mm.
turns into I can be self sufficient. I'm like, do I wait for everyone, or are they all going to be online, or am I just going to be useless and just kill things? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
It
not.
can be a little bit goofy, especially playing with multiple people where it's just like, I can
hey,
be
Boo Bear.
self-sufficient, but is it possible to be self-sufficient with all three of us? You know what I mean?
I don't know. I
Real
appreciate the genre, but it just doesn't click for me, unfortunately.
Fair enough.
Um,
Um,
if you guys come play Space Engineers with me, a whole bunch of crap. But
I'm more interested in something like a Deep Rock Galactic, I think.
look at that. Is that the one with the dwarves?
Yeah, Rockenstone. Moo, you got anything for us in the nerdy pile?
I have something that's not nerdy, but life update, right? So I managed to not have to call the police at all at work this week, which is super
No
exciting.
bananas.
No bananas. However, I did end up calling one of my colleagues that had left, who I'm going to call Mickey Mouse for reasons he'll understand. Not that he listens to this. So I call Mickey Mouse and I'm like, so I work in higher education, right? And we call, or many universities call what I do residence life. And it essentially has to do with like college kids and like their environment in general. But res life is just kind of like the colloquial term that we all use. And so I call Mickey Mouse and I'm like, hey, did you have animal bones on your res life bingo card for the year? And he's like, no, no, I did not. She's like, "Are you about to tell me?" I'm like, "Why, yes, I am." And so I got a duty report that said RA called because resident received package of animal bones addressed to them. They don't know who the package came from, and they talked to the police, and they didn't feel like the police took them seriously, and they didn't know what to do.
Hmm.
And that was a stranger. Like, I've dealt with a lot of things, right? And as we get closer to like Christmas break and we have to talk about like, we have to go in and inspect people's rooms. It's a thing we do. We look for certain hazards, and especially like if people are going to be leaving for break, we want to make sure like nobody left their goldfish behind,
Huh.
which happens more often than you would expect. Honestly, that's kind of how I ended up with my last goldfish, is because somebody left it behind and I didn't want it to die. But we found, like, I found a whole stoplight in a room once. Not a stop sign, like red, yellow, green, like 4 feet tall. They're huge. They're much bigger than you think they are. Huge fucking street sign in this room. So we get weird shit all the time. Like, it's just kind of like, yeah, another weird thing, different day. But animal bones was a new one on me too. So no bananas this week, but bones. So like, could maybe everybody stop being real fucking creepy? That'd be sweet.
It's just a shaman trying to deliver their answer to their divining.
I was gonna say, like,
See, but the resident was real confused. Like, and so that's the other weird thing that I saw this week, oddly enough, now that you brought shamanism into this. I'm walking down the hallway to go to my office, and like we have study lounges for kiddos. And there is a guy standing with a cape on and a staff and a cauldron on the table, and a girl just kind of sitting watching him. And I'm not sure if I like stumbled past a magic show or what this kid was supposed to be. And I started to say something, and I was like, you know what? I don't have enough time. I don't have enough words. We're just going to let him keep doing whatever goofy shit he's doing. As long as he doesn't wreck my lounge, I don't care. So yeah, no police, no bananas, but bones in a cauldron. So it's been an interesting week.
The only few things that I have to talk about that's semi-nerdy related is I do have to mention the fact that unfortunately this past week, Kirstie Alley passed away at the age of 71. A lot of people know her from Cheers. Other people know her from Look Who's Talking, among, oh gosh, I don't even know how many other shows and movies she's been in, but a lot. So,
She was also a Scientologist.
well,
She was the highest level of Scientologist that you can be. She was operating Thetan 8.
sure.
Cool.
So the other thing that I get to go ahead and talk about is we officially have permission from Aylin to refer to her as Aylin.
As Aylin, I
Yes.
was going to call her Big Titty Goth Girlfriend. Not that she's anybody's girlfriend in particular.
Did I tell you that story when we were at
No,
Applebee's? And she was showing me a couple of pictures of her, and one was with her in the full makeup and a corset and stuff. I was like, so you're telling me that if I play my cards right, potentially in some point, I could have a big titty goth girlfriend?
I honest to God, with all respect to her, like that's what I was gonna call her. She's not my big titty goth girlfriend, but she's a big titty goth girlfriend.
This is true. She's also not my big titty goth girlfriend, but yes, she is a big titty goth.
A big titty goth girlfriend.
And I took her to go visit and meet Mo Guns yesterday.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Getting serious.
Whoa.
I know,
Getting
right?
serious.
But
So
yeah, actually,
that's
I'm gonna make this worse. So she had messaged me to just be like, hey, I hope
told me.
Yeah, I hope nothing's weird. I hope nothing. I was like, no, like, you're totally fine. Like, she's like, I hope I didn't make it weird by saying that there are similarities between the two of us. I said, I've literally been giving Merlin shit about having a type for literal years.
Yeah,
Like,
because
we
you're
are
one to talk,
totally
Lou.
fine. I'm not saying that I don't have a type. I think it's pretty fucking clear that I have a type. All of the men that I have dated share very similar core characteristics, and there's just like little important pieces here and there that are different. But like, I very clearly have a type. Let's not beat around the bush. Very much I have a type.
I'll
So do
beat
you.
around that bush with my dick.
It's gone. Good luck. However, sorry, Dressbox just walked in the room without pants on again, and it distracted me.
As it should.
Just
As it
type.
should. I have type. Thank you. So I was talking.
Who's like,
to
let's
her.
hurry this up. I gotta go fuck.
It's been a couple days. But I was talking with her and just kind of creeping through her FetLife profile and everything, and she inspired me to buy some new. She had some pictures in these really cute like one-piece fishnet thing going on.
I know exactly the picture you're talking about.
I'll bet
like
you
that
do,
one
you
too.
pervert.
I know the
So-
owner of a
how
cool
terrible.
clothing.
That's how I first messaged her, was on FetLife.
So I know.
God
So,
forbid I look at her pictures.
So I went ahead and ordered myself a couple because I thought, you know what? I said, I'm thinking she's beautiful, and like we're roughly the same size. Like she's taller than me, but I was like, I could do that. She looks good in that. I could do that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna step outside our comfort zone a little bit, and I'm gonna try it, and we're gonna see how it comes out. But
as far as things looking good on her, not a picture I saw, but if you're really interested in going like, you know, a step further from the fishnets, if you want to get back to your medieval roots, so to speak, even for cosplay or boudoir photos or anything like that, get a hold of Aylin and ask her who she knows that can make a chainmail bikini, you know, or a chainmail bra. I know what you're thinking. Oh, that sounds horrible. Apparently, it's amazing.
interesting.
Like she said, it was the most comfortable, supportive bra that she has ever worn in her life, and you know, she is well endowed.
Boobs, yeah. Pre-surgery, I could
Support,
probably
good.
do that. Somebody came actually asked me about that. They asked me something about cute bras, and I said, I don't buy cute bras anymore. I buy practical bras now. I've become that person because anything cute has underwires, and that's where my scars are.
Yeah.
Understood.
Okay. So with all
So
that being
Aylin,
said,
Aylin is how I say it.
Aylin.
Aylin. Okay.
L-I-N is the phonetic pronunciation.
I still might end up calling her Big Titty Goth Girlfriend. But
A-Y-L-I-N. Aylin. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and try and go through the Geeky Wiki as fast as possible, so I might skip over a couple of days, and I apologize. Your sneaky peeky at this week's Geeky Wiki was that it's Noodle Ring Day, probably best known as SpaghettiOs. It's also National App Day, International Mountain Day.
I apologize for interrupting the Geeky Wiki. You just reminded me we lost one other person this week, or an animal. Lost the pug Noodle.
We lost Noodle the pug. Yep. There's no more No Bones days.
Yep.
Oh, that's
like the Washington Post, I think, covered his death. It was a big deal.
Wow.
Like,
apologies, you're not on TikTok that as much, I guess. But
poor Noodle.
Yeah.
So Noodle was a 14-year-old pug. You do know who Noodle the pug is, right? Yeah, 14-year-old pug. For anybody that didn't, 14-year-old pug, and his owner would stand him up every day. And if he had bones, he would stand up, and it was a bones day, and that was the day to go do something and try something different and take chances. And on the no bones day, he just kind of went, and he laid there all day, and that was the day to maybe play it safe. Just, you know, go back to bed, do some self-care. And he would bark at thresholds and cars and everything. And he would bark at his food. And it just kind of became this cute little joyous thing. The guy wrote a book, but he gave a very heartfelt speech about how it was okay to be sad about somebody that you didn't necessarily know, but, you know, to celebrate him. And yeah.
Apologies for interrupting, but yeah, that needed to be said too. Continue.
Sunday, December 11th is also Holiday Food Drive for the Needy Animals. Monday, December 12th, Choral Day, as in singing. It's also Festival of Unmentionable Thoughts. Gingerbread Decorating Day, National Ambrosia Day, and Universal Health Coverage Day. Tuesday, December 13th, National Cocoa Day, National Cream Cheese Frosting Day, National Horse Day, National Ice Cream Day. I know, kind of crazy to be in the winter, but I'll go with it. And National Violin Day. Wednesday, December 14th, Halcyon Days, where you kind of remember the olden days and the good old days and stuff like that. It's also National Alabama Day, but be very careful how you celebrate that, because this is not Alabama and some of those things are still illegal. It's also National Bouillabaisse Day, Monkey Day, and Roast Chestnuts Day. Thursday, December 15th, International Tea Day, Lemon Cupcake Day. So go ahead, have a lemon cupcake with your tea. National Cupcake Day. So, yeah, it's National Cupcake, Lemon Cupcake. Boom, there you go, 2-in-1. And National Re-Gifting Day, which means check your closets for anything that may still be packed up and shove it off on somebody else. Friday, December 16th is Barbie and Barney Backlash Day. The days where we kind of talk about the maybe not so great things that Barbie and Barney instilled into our kids, like a very unhealthy look at their bodies for how Barbie is sculpted. And I love you, you love me, we're a happy family can be really awkward towards people you may not know that well. It's also National Chocolate Covered Anything Day. So go out there, eat
Ooh.
chocolate covered peanuts, chocolate covered pretzels, chocolate covered pussy, eat it all.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just be careful with the chocolate though, because that's a great way to get a yeast infection.
True.
Use
Maybe just go
body
with
safe
chocolate covered
chocolate.
boobies then.
Body safe chocolates.
Mm-hmm. It's also National Ugly Sweater Day, Stupid Toy Day, and National Underdog Day, where you vote for the person that maybe isn't at the front runner of the race, but, you know, he's still in the race, he's earned his place, he could still pull it off. Finally, Saturday, December 17th, it's Canadian Maple Syrup Day, and I am so sad that 12 is not here to
12's not
talk about this.
here.
It's also National Device Appreciation Day. I appreciate you, computer. And Wright Brothers Day, which we celebrate here in Ohio. It's also Saturnalia. Your sneaky peeky at next week's Geeky Wiki that starts with Sunday, December 18th. And I have to use this one because I just watched an episode of The Nostalgia Critic on it. Answer the telephone like Buddy the Elf Day. So that means
Buddy
when
the Elf,
somebody
what's your favorite
calls...
color?
There you go.
I'm
And
glad I
that
missed this.
is the Geeky Wiki. So, what I have linked for everyone here in Nerdgasm to go ahead and take a look at, and there are little checkmark boxes that you can go ahead and fill out. This is called the official Rice Purity Test. The Purity Test has historically served as a segue from 0 week to true college life at Rice. It's a voluntary opportunity for 0 week groups to bond and for students to track the maturation of their experiences throughout college. This is not a bucket list. Do not treat it
This
as
is a
such.
caution.
Yeah. So completion of all items on this test will likely result in death. This is just kind of like, well, what have you done in your life? And a lot of these are, related sexually. So let's go ahead and get started. We're not going to talk too deep into it, but we're going to go through, check off what we can, and then we'll discuss our results at the end. Sound good?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
I'm
I'm
gonna
here for this.
I'm gonna go ahead and read the first 10, and then we can go ahead and switch off because I believe there's 100 of these. Okay.
Okay.
Oof.
All right. Number 1, held hands romantically. Number
Okay.
2, been on a date.
Mhm.
Number 3, been in a relationship. And like I said, Switch hopefully has brought up it on screen, so mark it in your brains, you know what I mean, or use a scratch piece of paper or something. Number 4, danced without leaving room for Jesus. So that means body to body touching. Kissed a non-family member. Kissed a non-family member on the lips. That's number 6. Number 7, French kissed. Number 8, French kissed in public. Number 9, kissed on the neck. And number 10, kissed horizontally, probably like in bed or something like that. So starting at number 11, Switch, do you want to take over?
Sure. Number 11, give or receive a hickey. 12, kiss or be kissed on the breast. Kiss someone below the belt. 13. 14 is kiss for more than 2 consecutive hours consecutively. I wish I could check mark that one.
Yeah, that
I've
2 hours just seems like a
I've
long
done
time.
that.
I can't
You'd be surprised when you're stuck in a room with somebody while a movie's just playing and that's all you do.
Mm.
I must have skipped that step. 15, play a game involving stripping. 16, seen or been seen by another person in a sensual context. Yep. 17, masturbated. 18, masturbated to a picture or video. Oh my god. I'm gonna have to click all 100.
That's where I'm at too so far, yeah.
Masturbated while someone else was in the room.
Ah,
And I'll do number 20. Been caught masturbating. Not by my parents.
I'm 20 for 20 at this point, guys.
I'm 19 for 20s.
I
Go
am
ahead,
also
Moo.
19 for 20. Moo, you're on
21. Masturbated with an inanimate object. Seen or read pornographic material. Massaged or been massaged sensually. Gone through the motions of intercourse while fully dressed. Undressed or been undressed by an MPS, which stands for member of the preferred sex.
Ah.
Look at them being inclusive.
Good for them.
Showered with an MPS. Fondled or had your butt cheeks fondled. Fondled or had your breasts fondled. Fondled or had your genitals fondled. Number 30, had or given blue balls.
All right.
Merlin.
Back to me with number 31. Had an
Fuck.
orgasm due to someone else's manipulation. Sent a 32. Sent a sexually explicit text or instant message. 33. Sent or received sexually explicit photographs. 34. Engaged in sexually explicit activity over video chat. 35. Cheated on a significant other during a relationship. 36. Purchased contraceptives. For those of you that don't know, that means condoms or birth control. 37. Gave oral sex. 38. Received oral sex. 39. Ingested someone else's genital secretion. Number 40. Used a sex toy with a partner.
This is going so well for me, guys.
Switch.
Oh, same here, by the way. 41, spent a night with a MPS. 42, been walked in on while engaging in a sexual act. Kicked a roommate out to commit
Yeah.
a sexual act. Uh, ingested alcohol in a non-religious context. Played a drinking game. Yeah, been drunk. Faking
Oh, there's some up here
sobriety.
that'll.
Huh?
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry,
faking
some of these I'll actually be okay on.
Yeah, same. To parent or teacher. No, actually, I'm going to say no though. Had served memory loss due to
Severe memory
alcohol.
loss. Yeah.
No, actually. And used tobacco and used marijuana. Actually have some blank spots finally. Go ahead, Moo. 51.
51. Used a drug stronger than marijuana. Does this count?
No,
If
do not
I
count prescription drugs.
okay.
We're talking recreationally.
Okay. Used methamphetamine, crack cocaine, PCP, horse tranquilizers, or heroin. Been sent to the office of a principal, dean, or judicial affairs representative for a disciplinary action. Been put on disciplinary probation or suspended. There's a couple of these I actually haven't done. Urinated in public. Gone skinny dipping. Gone streaking. Seen a stripper. Had the police called on you. Run from the police. Merlin.
61. Had the police question you. 62, had the police handcuff you. 63, been arrested. 64, been convicted of a crime. 65, been convicted of a felony. 66, committed an act of vandalism. 67, had sexual intercourse. 68, had sexual intercourse 3 or more times in one night. 69. 69? I'm assuming
Oh,
that's
I
what the question mark
misunderstood.
is. And number 70 had sexual intercourse 10 or more times in total in your life,
Fuck.
basically.
71 is had sexual intercourse in 4 or more positions. We're just gonna shorten this. Your HSI with a stranger or person you met within 24 hours. Surprisingly, we would not have gotten a yes on that 3 years ago. Had sexual intercourse with a motor vehicle.
In a
Red
motor
motor
vehicle, not
Okay.
with a motor
Hey,
vehicle.
people do have sex with motor
No,
vehicles.
I know. My weird addiction or whatever. There was the guy that was in love with his car or something.
Had sex outdoors. Had sex in public. Let's keep checking. Had sex in a swimming pool or hot tub. That's not very fun nor easy. Had sex in bed not belonging to you or your partner. Yes, I have. Have a sexual intercourse while you partner's parents were in the same home. That's always fun. Having sexual intercourse with non give me the word, everybody. Participating in a third party in the same room. Voyeur, yes. Join the Mile High Club. I have not been on a plane. So
Let's say, for those of you that don't know, the Mile High Club is when you have sex while in flight, usually in a bathroom, or maybe it's easier in first class if you have a private cubicle or something.
All right. Participated in a booty call with a partner whom you were not in a relationship with. Traveled 100 or more miles for the primary purpose of sexual intercourse. 83 had sexual intercourse with a partner with a 3 or more year age difference. Had sexual intercourse with a virgin. Here's one I have. Had sexual intercourse without a condom. What?
Sorry, I was thinking.
I've never had sexual intercourse with a virgin.
You were a virgin once. That person wasn't a virgin?
No.
Oh. Sorry. Continue on.
Had an STI test due to reasonable suspicion. Had an STI. Had a threesome. Attended an orgy. Had 2 or more distinct acts of sexual intercourse with 2 or more people within 24 hours. Merlin.
What? Oh.
No, it's your turn.
No. Had sexual intercourse with 5 or more partners in total in your lifetime. Not all at the same time. But technically that would also count. Been photographed or filmed during sexual intercourse by yourself or others. Had period sex. 94, had anal sex. 95, had a pregnancy scare. 96, impregnated someone or been impregnated. 97, paid or been paid for a sexual act.
Question. Do we count somebody sending me lingerie as being paid for a sexual act? Oh, fuck. Wait. OnlyFans. Never mind. Shut up. Go ahead.
98, committed an act of voyeurism. And then these last two are really crossing a line, and we definitely do not suggest doing either of these. Committed an act of incest, or 100, engaged in bestiality.
Hey. So my score is 23.
My score is 36.
Lower the score, the worse, or
The lower, it's the number of ones you didn't check.
It's how pure you are. I am 36% pure, effectively.
purity is
I got a 14.
Woo! God
It was
dang.
basically like hard drugs and arrests. I got a 14. Just like we said, purity is a construct. Do not
True.
take any self-worth or you know or engage in self-deprecation based on this. This is something fun for you to do along with
Yeah,
us.
absolutely.
And if you like you the way you are, good job.
Yeah,
Way to go.
absolutely. Like, we're not going to judge you.
But-
Again, those last two are number 100 is 100% a big no-no.
Absolutely.
Like, that is crossing a major line. Furries are cool though, because that's not bestiality. Like, furries get a very bad rap for people thinking they're into bestiality. It's like, no, that is literally the farthest thing that furries are into. And an act of incest, you know, that's just not, that's mm-mm. And we're not talking, oh, stepbrother, I'm stuck in the washing machine. Like, that is pornography. All right, that doesn't actually happen. But yeah, that is the rice purity test. Moo, you have anything else for us here on the Gasm?
So I do. So last week we did not get super nerdy, and so I had been talking to Dress Blacks a little bit. First of all, take a step back. I named the podcast last week. Let's talk about analytics. It was analytics, but I made, and y'all are perverts because that one got 35 listens. We haven't had 35 listens in a while, so I'm glad y'all are keeping it naughty with me. So I have been like we said, looking at analytics, and King Quest did super well. It seems like y'all were really interested in that. It seems like it was something you enjoyed. It was something I enjoyed doing. And so I would like to take some time to kind of focus on King Quest, but focus a little more on the quest. Just Blacks and I were talking, and again, I talk a lot about the importance of open and honest communication. And so I had messaged him yesterday. He's been out of town a lot, so we've been doing a little bit more text conversation than normally. And I said, I thought maybe it would be interesting to look at some of the things we haven't done, do them, and then report back about what that was like. And so I kind of looked at our FetLife list and looked at our like things we've done versus like things we're curious about and started kind of cross-referencing. And so we've always, like, we talked about a lot of things in the beginning, and I think it's easy in like the honeymoon period of a relationship or whatever to talk about things. And then, you know, life got in the way. And so it was always, well, when we have more time or when we have more space or, well, now we've got space. So it's time to make time, right? So we have some stuff on our lists that we're both interested in trying. We also have some stuff on our lists that I think we're maybe a little hesitant about because it's stuff that requires maybe a little more prep or is just kind of a little more involved or a little bit more kinky, for lack of a better term, than like your basic stuff. And so what I want to clarify is this was not me seeking out, hey, what are your hard no's? Let's fuck with them. Or like, what are my hard no's? Let's fuck with them. Like, we are respecting each other's boundaries, absolutely. But maybe talking about some of the things that we've had more interest in or we've wanted to explore further. And then I'd like to talk with our listeners about what that process was like. Let me clarify what I don't mean. I don't mean I'm about to give you like an audio porn play-by-play of how this all went down, but I'd like to kind of
We're
take
saving
some
that
of
for
these...
the OnlyFans.
I'd like to kind of take some of these acts that are considered taboo and really break it down what it was like to get ready for that and to participate in that and to kind of process afterwards, because again, open and honest communication is important. And so I think this will be exciting for me, one, because I get to try some stuff, but two, just I want everybody to understand that you're not wrong for wanting the things that you want or feeling the way you feel, so long as everybody involved, like safe, sane, and consensual, right? If it's safe, sane, and consensual, then you are good to go. And so we are going to misfrizzle this. We're going to take some chances. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to get messy. And we're going to let you know how it goes.
That
So
is actually a really bad scientific process if you break it down that way.
well, this isn't science, it's sex, so it'll be okay.
But
And so
for science.
it's for science, but it isn't science. So we are going
I am
to.
not going to cite my work.
I will
Get
not
it.
cite my work.
Somebody could argue that this is relative to biochemistry.
So, if you have something that you are particularly interested in learning about, if there is something that you think, gosh, I've never heard them talk about this, really, they should give this a try. I think they'll enjoy it. Send it to us. I promise we can be, ask Aylin, ask Big Titty Goth Girlfriend. We can be anonymous. We're very good at protecting people's identities when we need to. So if you have questions,
Yeah.
please send them to us. If you need to make up a bullshit email address, do that. Fuck. I got an email from John Smith. Sounds great. Let's do it.
Now, where can they send this email, Moo?
So you can go ahead if you do not feel comfortable sending it to Nerd. We have one email. It's NRDGa5m N3rdGa5m @gmail.com. If maybe you don't want the boys to see it, maybe you just want to keep this, between us gals. You can go ahead and send it to Moopacabra, MOOPACABRA @yahoo.com. And I will keep that just between you and I. And I would love to answer some of your questions. I think the world could use more examples of open and honest communication. And I'm going to do my best to model that. And it was really this sounds so dorky and so like sappy, but like I went through this list of stuff with him that I had been thinking about and some things that I wanted to. And I said, I'm not saying this needs to be an every night kind of thing, but maybe we pick a night every week or every other week and we explore some of the stuff we talked about at the beginning, but never really got to. I said there was a lot of stuff that space and situation didn't allow for. And he said, yeah, now that we have more space and a little more time. And I said, we talked about these things, and I was really excited. And then like life kind of got in the way. And while sex is not the most important aspect of our relationship, it's what brought us together initially. And I think it's kind of, silly to not acknowledge that. And so I said, I just want to I wanted to thank him too, because I remember being terrified to have these conversations with my ex, right? I remember going through and talking with you boys about it, what it was like to try to say, how do I do this? How do I have this conversation? How do I get him to understand the things that I'm hoping for, the things that I'd like to try? And it failed, honestly, in the end. But I said thank you for letting me be open and letting me be honest. And I'm just so thankful that I wasn't afraid to have that conversation. And I said thank you for not judging me. And it was one of those things where we got to have our warm fuzzy moment, even though we were talking about glory holes and consensual non-consent and
Well, that's the thing. Like
knife fight.
Yeah, these I'll just call them quote wish lists, so to speak. Like if you're in a relationship, whether it's open, monogamous, just friends with benefits, whatever, if your partner brings up to you, hey, I've been thinking about this act, or hey, I've been thinking about this side of my sexuality or whatever, you know what I mean, don't panic. This isn't them saying, well, I'm not interested in you, I don't
Right.
like you. That's it's actually the exact opposite. They feel so comfortable with you that
Yes.
they're willing to expose themselves, which can be very frightening to kind of put it all out there, because people are often judged about their interests and stuff like that. And it's just like, what do you mean you want anal sex? Like, that's in the butt. But it's like just communication. And
Can we close that door real quick, guys? Is that okay? Thank you.
but yeah, so yeah, it's actually a way to grow closer with your partner. my opinion.
Yes. If we were in the
Sorry.
Victorian age, you, yeah, very bad girl. See your legs.
Me?
Yes.
You
I have
harlot.
shorts on. I do, in fact, have shorts on. They're short, but I have shorts on. I actually just bought these fuzzy socks. They're from Victoria's Secret, and I got them on clear or on sale for like $6, and they're super fuzzy, and I love them. But I do have bottoms on my everything's I hang out. And like you said, that's I had the conversation. I said, I'm not saying that what we're doing is bad or that I don't like it. I'm just saying, I think we have space to learn and I think we have space to teach. And I would like to take advantage of those. So, listeners, hopefully with your, I don't want to say blessing, but hopefully with your, your
Input.
understanding and your excitement, we are going to move forward in this next quest. And I don't quite know what the format of that looks like. I don't know if that's going to lend itself to video or if that's going to end up being explicit. Again, I'm not trying to like walk you through step by step what's happening here, but at the same time, I think there are certain things that become difficult to talk about without
I
certain
think
gestures or things. And so
if
we'll
we
see how it comes
use
out.
scientific terms and stick figure graphs, we should be able to get away with it.
We'll see what we can do. So please look for that. We're going to get started on that here soon. We are putting together our list of things that we know we want to tackle.
Are you going to
And
check it twice?
we might check it twice. And we'll be naughty and nice to one another. So we're going to go through that list and figure out what are the things that we really feel like we want to do. And then some of them just require a little bit more setup, a little bit more prep, a little bit more training, for lack of a better term. You don't just peg the fuck out of somebody with no training. It doesn't work.
No.
It's going to be uncomfortable. So
Yeah. You also
Metaphor
don't just
is more lube is training.
or
So-
yeah.
Or
I
lube.
mean there's anal inflation bead
plugs. We have
tubes
one.
or whatever, yeah, that help train your butt to literally take a larger load, so to speak.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, we'll figure out the format soon.
Yeah, it's
so look
just
for
like
that to come.
it's
Yeah.
just like working out any other muscle. You don't just start lifting 500 pounds. No, you got to start out smaller at 5 pounds.
So that's what I got for you
10
guys.
pounds
We
and stuff.
can wrap it up, boys.
You better wrap it up. That's the best way to keep things safe. But anyway, thank you all so much for joining us here on the Nerdgasm Podcast, the podcast where we do indeed talk about things that are nerdy and things that are naughty. You can go ahead and find us a couple of different places on the internet, but the best place to go ahead and find us all and then go from there is on our link tree, which can be found at linktr.ee/nerdgasm, spelled
N3rdGa5m.
correct. So, of course, this December, leading through January as we head into a new year, hopefully a better year, please remember, especially in retail, to be excellent to each other.
Enjoy yourselves and love yourselves. Be good to yourselves. Give yourselves grace and jingle all the way because no one likes a half-assed jingler.
And to continue on that, instead of the mistletoe this year, get the missile toad. Stay naughty, everybody.
Ah!
Replacement words of wisdom from 12. I'm actually going to steal from a conversation I had with Aelin. If a werewolf infects a dwarf with their curse of lycanthropy, when the dwarf changes, do they become a corgi?
Where corgi?
Personally, I say that it's more like a Scottish Terrier because they've already got that amazing stash. So until next time, friends, I have been Merlin Sensei. He has been Switch Riggs. She has been the Mopacabra. We will go ahead and talk to you later. Bye for now.
Bye, friends.
Bye.